What's up everybody, it's 13 with Superior Mobile by 13, and this is a pretty exciting build, man. This is my first actual motorcycle build, with the exception of Nick's Buell headlight build that I did forever ago, but that one was a bit of an oddity and that was a special case scenario. This one is the first motorcycle build that I did basically by meeting with the client, picking out the products, designing the build, and moving forward. So this is more of a production style, something that I can actually make for a customer without getting into ridiculous fabrication and some really serious one-off modifications like we had to do on the Buell. So this is dual Matchbox HID projectors. So these are generally fog light projectors. They're very tiny. They fit in this housing. That's the main point. We do have some RGB halos mounted on there, and of course an entire gloss black paint job throughout the entire inside. So the thing looks really clean, and I just want to show it on the table here first before I install it on the bike. As you can see, we've got some extension housing caps on the back, so it's still all sealed up nice and proper, and it is going onto this gorgeous motorcycle, this GSX-S1000F. So apparently those letters all mean something. I ride a motorcycle, but I do not claim to be a motorcycle guy. I don't know a lot about them, but in just a few short hours, this little section right here will have some super sweet killer headlights installed on it. So let me get to work and I will continue this video in, for you, just a few seconds. All right, here we are. It is done. This beautiful motorcycle is now fully reassembled with some really killer custom headlights. Check those things out. It really helps complete the front end of this. I love the fact that he decided to paint it a gloss black so that it'll really complement the rest of the black accents on this bike. And I love the fact that we added some color changing halos on it, because that's gonna give it a lot of flair and it's gonna allow him to parking lot pimp. So for this particular motorcycle, when you turn the key to the on position, the headlights automatically come on. That's gonna happen no matter what. It's just a feature of the motorcycle itself. So these are HID projectors. They're running a 35-watt Morimoto ballast, igniters. I did a custom relay wiring harness for this setup, and they are gonna be beautiful. The output pattern is going to have that distinctive HID cutoff line. However, understand that it will be a flat cutoff, and so when you bank off to the side, that cutoff is also going to bank. However, it's going to be a million times better nighttime visibility than the halogen reflector bulbs that it originally came with. All right, turning on the halos now. As you can see, I got them on blue, which is of course going to be probably the preferred color scheme for this particular motorcycle, but they can be any color. This is green, and that's a bit of a red. And what I did intentionally was I did a left and a right channel. So if you really want, you can make them all sorts of different things. It does do a color cycle, and then we can take one channel and throw it on static and put the other one on color cycle. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could if you so choose, right? Also, if you're kind of the street legal sort of person, then they can of course put them on white. This Bluetooth controller is on constant power, so in the event of a long-term storage, you'd want to pull the fuse. I made that accessible because motorcycle batteries are not notorious for having a lot of reserve charge, but it still should be plenty enough to be able to leave them on a show and walk away from the bike for, I don't know, a couple hours or something, no problem. The final feature about those halos that I want to mention is that they are switchback, meaning that anytime that we have the bike on and we're using the turn signal, it's going to blink with the turn signal. Now keep in mind, in the video it's a little hard to see the halo blinking because the headlight's a little overwhelming, but in person you can definitely tell that it is blinking. And then I'll throw it on to the other side. See that? Oh, how cool. Also, he had already installed these LED side markers. All I did was install some resistors in there to eliminate the hyper flash. All right, I turned the bike around and I'm sitting on it, so check that out. There's our headlight output. As you can see, we've got the dual cutoff patterns right there, and that's our high beam. So way cooler headlight output than the original setup. So this is definitely a huge improvement. Not bad at all, sir. Now, if you remember earlier, I mentioned that there were housing extension caps on the back. That's those guys right there. They do stick out a little bit, but they still do not hit. So I have full range of rotational motion on the steering assembly here. There is a lot of new wiring, and I also mentioned that there is a fuse easily accessible. That is that guy right there for the Bluetooth controller only. So in the event that you want to do long-term storage, or for whatever reason your phone can't connect to the XBT and you need to pull the fuse, that's accessible right there real easy. There is a master fuse hidden behind my butt right now, and that is for the headlight system. So pulling that fuse will not kill the headlights, only the halos themselves. And everything back down there is serviceable. It's got plugs on it. I've got ballast, igniters, LED drivers, and controllers are all mounted back underneath the windscreen behind this cluster. It's packed in there, but I managed to pull it off and it looks good and it's still serviceable. And oh man, let's just do this one more time because look at how pretty that is. I'm really pleased with this. This is really cool. This is a super rad setup and it's a super rad motorcycle. So I mean, what's not to love, right? So pricing and product information for this particular build will be in the video description. So before you ask in the comments as to how much something like this costs, please reference that. All build inquiries need to be directed through my website. There's a form there for a build request. You can do it that way, and that's how you can get a hold of me. Any other thoughts, questions, opinions, whatever, throw them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. This is 13 with Superior Mobile ByThirteen. Have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. I'll talk to you later. Thank you and goodbye.